workplace. Today on Sankofa Speaks, we're not just asking for a seat, we're redesigning the table. Dr. Tajiri Brackens is here to show us how. How you doing? My name's Freddie Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals, and you are in Sankofa Speaks, and we're about to have an amazing conversation with the one and only Dr. Tajiri Brackens, the Workplace Wizard, a cultural strategist, leadership expert, and emotional intelligence powerhouse with over 30 years of experience helping Black professionals stop surviving toxic workplaces and start transforming them. She's the founder of Heritage Leadership Consulting, creator of the Oz Experience, and author of Powerful Privilege and Humility. Ooh, I like that. All focused on one mission to help our people reclaim their voice, values, and vision without assimilating. Listen, boy, I was like doing a little dance when I saw that. I was like, ooh, without assimilating, y'all. Featured on Fox, CBS, NASDAQ, and more, Dr. Brackens doesn't just talk leadership, she lives it at the intersection of truth, healing, and unapologetic Black brilliance. Allow me to welcome to the conversation, Dr. T. How you doing, good sister?
Hey, all is well, all is well. I'm gonna say is, can I have you as my hype man when I get ready to go hit the stage somewhere? Because you did the doggone thing. I don't have a crowd roar in the background, but doggone it, you are sufficient and you did it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I had to pat my own self on the back when I heard you reading those accolades. I'm like, he talking about me.
Look, I had to tone it down because I was like, sis got a resume, y'all. Sis got a resume. And I'll definitely be your Flavor Flav Chuck D to Chuck D any day. Just call me and tap me in.
Yes.
Don't believe the hype. Okay, anyway. All
Oh
right.
no, you gonna believe this hype.
I love it. I love it. All right. So my first question, which you don't know is coming, is from the bio, what's missing?
Ooh.
Too
Um,
much. I know. I know.
it's not too often that people get me speechless, but you got me speechless on that one. Um, Probably more of the personal side of me, who I am,
Mm,
who I be, and who makes me who or what makes me who I am and why I thrive and do what I do. I love family. I love family. I love family.
mm,
So one of my mottos is anything that's connected to me wins. And I am a servant leader. And I believe in pouring into people, family, as you said, those adjacent to me, whomever. If you are connected to me in any type of way, I'm going to pour into you. I'm going to breathe life into you, because as I said in the pre-show, at Black in the quote unquote green room, um, it want we all we got, and I want to be that energy giver, not that energy taker. I want you to be glad to see me when I come into the room, when I step into the virtual room, or whether I step into the physical room. I want you to feel good about being in the place with me. I love movies, 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 movies. I love to cook. Um, Wait a
You
minute,
you
you
know you
can
know
have
I'm a
me.
movie critic now.
Oh, what then we can have some serious conversations then, some serious conversations. And I also love, which is probably to some people, she crazy. She sit there and watch all of that. But obviously there is an audience for it because there are different shows of it. People do their own spin. I love those doggone killer documentaries.
Okay.
Yes. So
I
like
didn't see
For
that
My
coming.
Man. Yes. For My Man on TV One, Fatal Attraction on TV One, your Datelines, your SVUs, all of that stuff, and the real documentaries like your Snapped and all of that stuff. Because for me, that's understanding people's psyche. What would make them go off? See, I look at it a little differently.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm in the people business, what would make people do what they do? And quite frequently, more often than not, I ask the question that the narrator is going to ask before the narrator asks the question.
Okay. You in it.
Yeah, I'm in it 10 toes down in like
Got
in
it.
sinking sand and quicksand. I am in it, and I can sit and literally watch that all day long. Anything that has to do with mystery, um, action, and murder. I'm just, I swear for God, I'm not gonna go kill nobody. I swear for God, I'm not. But it's just the understanding of why people do what they do.
All
That
right.
that's my focus in it all.
Because that's literally like what you do. All right. So
Mhm.
we gonna get into that. All right. That was new to me. Yeah, I didn't know that. I want to say, as a man in here, and like your husbands, your boyfriends, we're all concerned about y'all watching these shows. All right. I just want to put it out there for the men out there, Charles. Somebody back me up out there. The men are concerned. I'm glad you said I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just curious. But a lot of us are like, why she keep watching these shows? Like, what's this about? Anyway, uh, are you about to snap? Like, hold on, maybe I should watch
No,
the
no,
show.
no, 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 no. Look,
Maybe we should watch the
there's
show, right?
look, there's even one on Discovery ID. It's called "Who the Bleep Did I Marry?" I mean, just all of that type of
Oh man, I've seen that. It
it's
is
it's
good
crazy.
though.
See, see,
I
see.
ain't.
You think you know somebody, and wait a minute, I swear for God, I'm not trying to figure out how to quote unquote get away with murder as that TV show was. I'm named. I'm not trying to do that.
That was
But
another good
again,
one.
it's the psyche, how people think, how they operate, and how they can put on a facade and a mask out in the real world when they're dealing with other people. But yet when they come home, it's a whole totally different person than what you're accustomed to outside of these walls, which goes back to what I said earlier. You never know what somebody is dealing with, so I want to be that energy giver when they
Mhm.
come into my space.
And this is good. It's interesting lead in that we're having that conversation and energy giver, and you never know what a person is going through because in the workplace, you never know what a person is going through on the other side of that. And like I love this this code switch conversation as well, because I got an interested insight that I'll bring up shortly. But let's get into the meat of the conversation and the reason why we're here. Um, how did this workplace wizard come to be? Right. Let's bring. I'll tie in what we just talked about here a little bit later, but I want to make sure I ask this question: like, how did this whole workplace wizard come to be? This Dorothy conversation, like that. Just explain that whole metaphor, or I don't know where you're going with how it came to be. Let me shut up and allow you to speak.
Lean in, lean in, lean in. So there's actually we okay, so there you go, lean in because I'm about to
Let's go.
drop it. Welcome to the evolution of the workplace wizard. So it starts with two sides of a coin, and one side is um they're both the coin is profession excuse me, is my professional life, but there are two sides to that. So one side is I was involved in a direct sales multi-level marketing organization for over 3 decades. And within that, I saw how teams were doing exceptionally well, killing the game, reaching goals, exceeding the goals, versus those teams that were just merely getting by. And I wondered what was the difference between the two, because the foundation was the same as far as what they all needed to do for the minimum requirements. But there was something different about those that super exceeded versus the mediocre teams. And what I found was it was the relationships that was amongst the team members, and they built a family, they had a tribe. So let's just say um, myself, and we're just gonna call her Susie for right now. Both of our kids are on the soccer team, and I have an appointment. I'm not going to be able to go pick up my kid, but since your kid is on the same soccer team, can you pick mine up too? That's that village type of mentality and community that's there. So knowing that I have somebody that I can depend on to be able to do that for me, that frees me up and removes the stress levels from trying to figure out how to get that done. So the people stepped in when somebody needed some assistance. And because of that, and they were seen, then whatever the team needed, there was more buy-in, because you see that people actually want you to succeed, that you have that sense of belonging. And now I'll be willing to do for you or do for the team because the team is pouring vested interest into me. So that's that side of that coin. Going into corporate America, because those skills that I saw there. Oh, let me also add one other thing as far as not being seen. Um, Something that was told to me that just really, really stood out. And it still stings a little bit to this day when I think about it. But I have healed, I have forgiven, and I have moved on. But sometimes, like when we have those teachers that tell us things that are our motivators to keep us moving and going as we go through our life, to be able to push forward, this is the statement that was made to me. It was, "You cost me money." I had life that was going on, and I just could not do what I had intended to do, what I set out to do as far as doing my part of the goal for that month's production. When you got life going on around you, certain things just you ain't worried about it. That can go by the wayside. I could give a rat's tail as to what's going on. I got to deal with what's in front of me right now and handle it so that I can handle everything else. Because if I don't handle this, everything else is going to fall apart. So that stayed with me, and helped to be the foundation as to who Dorothy is, and what Dorothy is about. So going to the corporate side, the other side of that coin, um, I worked with Continental Airlines, to let you know how long ago that was, because they are no longer here. And I was in the accounts payable department. And with that, I was the auditor, the purchase card auditor. Well, because of the skills that I learned that were transferable from the direct sales organization, I took that with me over into corporate America, and building and having the small conversations with the card holders that I was assigned to, or whoever, came through on my list to handle and reconcile for that month, building the small talk conversations and rapport with them. So if I see them walking by my desk, "Hey, how are the kids? I know you said that they had a tournament this weekend, or they were going camping, or it was anniversary, or you and your wife's anniversary, or something like that." Again, just a small talk, making some type of connection with them. I didn't need to get into the whole, if you going through a divorce and they ringing you through the, baby mama drama, I didn't need to go through all of that. I wasn't trying to go deep in like that. But again, wanting them to be seen, making sure that they felt seen when they were in my presence. Remember, I'm an energy giver, not an energy taker. So once they saw my name come across, whether it be email, whether it be caller ID, they knew why I was calling, because they knew what I did for my job. However, because I had that relationship and that rapport with them, I got what I needed back in a timely manner. So that was something else that I was able to take with me. Now, that was as it related to the customers that I had to serve. Now, let's talk about my supervisor. That's a whole nother talk show, another day. No, we're gonna talk about her right here, right now. We're
Come
just
on,
gonna
drag her.
pull it
Let's
all
go.
out. So she came aboard after I had been there for a while. And she came, her formal education was from a PWI, predominantly white institution,
Mm.
whereas me, my cute little yellow self, comes from an HBCU,
Which HBCU? Shout
the
it out.
Texas, the Texas Southern University in Houston, Texas. You in my backyard, baby. You in my
I'm out here.
backyard, Tiger Pride.
I
Oh,
met some of them yesterday, and yeah, they said just like you, the you got to put that THE on
Texas Southern. Yes, and that's E. That's
it.
not
Yeah.
right. Okay, so that's where I come from, and unfortunately, our society marginalizes education from an HBCU.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, that is the best education as far as learning how to really operate in this world because it's much more diverse, in my opinion. You have, I mean, diverse in so many different ways, not just the students, but the faculty, the staff, the instructors, just their backgrounds, where they come from. I mean, it's just diversity all day, every day, in every way possible. And she minimized that. And she made it clear, very, very clear, that she was on a pedestal because she came from a PWI
Mm.
versus my HBCU. Now, mind you, they right across the street from each other. So you know
Wow.
which people, yeah. Since you're right there in Houston, they're right across the street. Literally, there is a main drag that separates the two.
Really?
That's it. That's it.
That was like
You
literally the back of the bus because they drew a line. You Negroes over there, we gonna be over here doing our thing. So
mhm,
she
mhm.
was one of them that was allowed to cross the street. Anyway, go ahead, continue, sis.
You
I'm
know what? I'm not with you. I am
yeah,
not
yeah,
with
I'm
you, but
messy.
I
I know
am with
I'm
you.
messy. I'm messy. Don't you better
But I
watch
but I am with you. I love the pettiness. I love it. I love it. I love it.
it.
Um, so she minimized my education and the value that I brought to the table because of that formal education from an HBCU. Now, here's the other thing that added a little bit of extra fuel to the fire. I was at the time working on my master's degree while I was there. She only had a bachelor's degree. So now there's another layer of me in her mind being less than, or, oh, she thinks she's all that. Well, in her mind, she had the notion, which I don't know where she got it from, because I sure as heck didn't give it to her, that I wanted her job. Baby, the way that I have been groomed and the way that I have been built, I have greater things in store. I don't want your job.
Your
I'm
job.
looking at somebody, look, so, and this is a little bit of a hierarchy play here. You right here with your job, I'm looking at the person that's over the department. I ain't trying to be a supervisor. I'm looking for greater things as far as where I was positioning myself. And quiet as it's kept, I wasn't trying to stay at Continental, not knowing at the time that it was going through a merger. Um, or going through a takeover. I'm not trying to have a whole career with Continental Airlines because I know the greatness that's in me and it's not going to be able to be sustained in this area.
Mm.
So that was my rude awakening as far as in my adult life about classism, racism, and socioeconomics. Um,
In the
it was
workplace. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, in the workplace, and that stung. But because greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world, I knew I was just passing through and that I had to grow where I was planted.
Wow.
And that's exactly what I did. I heard what she was saying, but I didn't let that infiltrate what my purpose and what my gifts were and the direction and the path that I was heading on. So those two elements on the corporate side and on the direct sales side, that was the foundation for the Workplace Wizard.
Wow.
And it really solidified in 2020 with the death of George Floyd and
Okay.
seeing how different backgrounds, different pedigrees, different just different peoples all the way around, and not just here in these not so yet United States, as Maya Angelou says, but also across the pond, across the water, that people understood humanity and right is right, wrong is wrong. And um, with that being solidified, it was like, you know what? There's something here that's another element to relationships and understanding people. I mean, you're starting to see how all of this is coming together as to how I am and who I be. So
Even your tragic television watching. All right, good. I'm sorry. Go
don't hate, don't hate.
ahead. No, hey, Freddie, don't
Look,
hate.
let Crystal hit me up on the text. Girl, you will not believe what he's sitting up here watching tonight. And we have watched a marathon of about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes of it. But anywho,
I didn't see him snap. I didn't see him snap.
so with that, I said, I've got to take this. In the words of Betty Wright, we got something good here, and we need to tell the
Mm,
people about it. So I took
mm,
that and I looked at it through leadership lens. And as I said in the beginning, as far as the little known facts about me, I am a movie buff. As a child, my favorite movie was The Wiz.
yes.
And even though it's a take on The Wizard of Oz, The Wiz was much more culturally appropriate for me. And there are so many more layers in The Wiz versus The Wizard of Oz. Just in the movie itself, I'm not even talking about the way I look at it through leadership lens, but there are so many different layers that were in that. So, what does that look like? That looks like Dorothy, who is the team leader of the visionary. She has her team of the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man. They must all work together with their different pedigrees, their different strengths, to be able to accomplish the goal of getting to the wizard, getting to the Wiz. So now they got to figure out how to work together. How do I not minimize you because of your weaknesses, but build you up in your strengths? Because if I let you operate in your strengths and in your, dare I say, zone of genius, then that gives you a sense of belonging, and that you're able to add to the conversation, that you're able to add to the team, you're able to give value to the team. And I don't have to worry about your work ethic, what it is that you're going to do, because now you feel like you have a place on the team. And that's how the Workplace Wizard came about. And who I really speak to is Dorothy, because Dorothy is my person that I see as me, and I am her, that I was undervalued, underestimated, marginalized. Remember those stories that I told you about as far as
Mhm.
in direct sales and in corporate America. So I was able to fictionalize who or what my actual reality was. And another reason that I have chosen to use childhood stories is because it removes the barriers. We can all go back to the simplicity of what a childhood story represents, and the basic principles of of a childhood story. So I just transition that into leadership development, into learning and development, into workplace culture, and simplifying principles and what have you. Because once it is simplified, it is then palatable. From it being palatable and relatable, then it then becomes executable. Because how many of us have had lunch and learns where we just go through the motion
Mhm.
because they say we need to do it and we check it off of our to-do list. And we don't do nothing, everything with it once we leave those, leave that environment, leave that study room, that classroom, that training room, or what have you, which means going to that training is pretty much null and void. You don't do anything with it. So let me give it to you in a way that you actually are more productive once you leave my training, once you leave my coaching. Let me help you be powerful. Let me help you be great. Let me help you shift to and make that transition to your next level. So again, that's how the Workplace Wizard came about. There was a long answer, but each part of it was instrumental in you understanding why I do what I do, how I do what I do, and what fuels me to do what I do.
Yeah, no, it's all it paints a broader picture so we can have like a better discussion because now you can lean on some of the things. And one thing I want to say, y'all, this might surprise you. I watched The Wiz for the first time this year. All right.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Folks was threatening my black card over I hadn't seen The Wiz. I've seen it. The Reese's Pieces rapper on Michael
Right
Jackson.
for his nose.
Right. Like I'm in there now. I'm in there now. It took me a umpteen years. I'm 70s baby, but umpteen years to get there. I seen it. All right. So y'all get off my
Well, wait a
back.
minute, hold up. Since you're talking about the props and what have you, did you notice that Eveline was sitting on the toilet? Go back and look at it. I'm done.
Okay, I might have missed that. Did any of y'all catch that? Like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. I'm in it now. Now I'm in it. I watched it. All right, I'm there. And I enjoyed the whole story, right? The storyline, even the original Wizard of Oz, right? Like, I enjoyed that as well. Of course, we always do it better. Roberta said yes. She noticed that she was on the toilet. I love that. Like, I missed it. Completely missed that. All right, I was overwhelmed catching up, right, to my childhood. I should have seen it. I gotta fault my no, I ain't gonna fault my parents. No, I'm gonna
Don't
leave.
fault nobody for it.
Yeah, it's
Don't
just
fault
me. It's
nobody for
just
it.
me.
You
I
good
just
and
want
grown now.
a
So
good
you
girl.
need
I
to take
watched it when I needed to
accountability.
see it. Now I got to sit my children down, make sure that they get this cultural classic as well. And I love the reference to Dorothy, right? Because a lot of us are that in the workplace. But when it comes to like specifically Black professionals, right? Why do you feel we shrink in the at the workplace, right? And I do want to bring up this code switching conversation. I got a good one for you on that. I had to hold that in my mind. I ain't got that on my list, but
So I think
what do
this
you
is actually going to be a great segue for that because um okay, let's go deep, deep, deep back. Let's go deep, deep, deep back to
way back?
slavery. We get ready because I'm gonna bring you how I believe this ties into why we have to assimilate in in the workplace. Because if you go back to slavery, we were seen as less than. And we have all had that conversation or have heard we got to be 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 times better than our counterparts just so that we can get a glimpse, not just to be seen, but just so that we can get a glimpse to be seen in these workplaces or in the world. I'm just going to say in the world right now. I know you specifically asked me workplace, but I'm going to say in the world to keep it kind of general and you plug it in where you need to. So with that, we had to begin to talk like, we had to begin to act like, we had to begin to dress like, just so that we can be seen as an equal to them, and that we were on the same playing field, and that we were not a threat to them
Mm.
in their eyes. So we had to change the narrative as to how they see us and how they saw us. And even if I dare say, those of us that were able to pass and get into rooms that others were not able to get into, we still had to be a certain way when we were in those
You
rooms.
got that. Yeah.
And then we got the information, we got the knowledge, and then brought it home to those that were not able to get into the rooms. So it's something that has matriculated down from generation to generation to generation, and that we just have organically embraced it and have not challenged it as it should be, as I think it should be, and as it can be challenged. However, there is a way to step into rooms, to
There we go.
not shrink who you are, to not shrink what your principles are, to not shrink what business you stand on, and still be able to get the respect, to get the honor, to get the praise in which you do deserve. Because one thing I know for sure that you cannot take away is what's up in here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Before you say what that is, right? Because I think we definitely want to know that either for ourselves, for our children, for our grandchildren. We want to be able to pass these things along. Um, where, how do I say this? Where, oh man, I'm missing my question. Where, like, how, oh man.
Come on, come
So
on. That means it's about to be juicy good.
yeah,
If you can't,
yeah, yeah.
if
Like
it's
I had
messing
a
with you,
perfect
it's
time.
about
I
to
know
be
where you.
juicy
I
good.
think I don't know what you're gonna say, but I know you're gonna wrap it up. But like in our heads, we just got all this apprehension as a people, right? Like we got all this angst about. I'm going with code switching, right? Because this code switching conversation is the thing, right? Like what we talk one way with our homeboys and we talk another way at school or work or in that environment because we're trying to grow and you got to speak the King's English when you amongst them people, right?
You
So
ain't even speak King's English then if you want to be technical. We're not even speaking it
yeah.
then, but I get what you're saying.
And then
You
first of all, the
know,
hell with the king in the first place, right? So we got, and particularly I know my audience, we got all this cultural pride. Like, so how do we merge the two? Because we got listen, them bills coming. I don't give a damn what you think about Dr. King or Malcolm X or Sojourner Truth, like whatever the kid, like it don't matter. Them bills coming, right? And that's where I know it. Like in our community, that's a lot. That's just the reality of our life.
mhm.
So, like, please tell us, right? Like, how can I be true to my authentic self while climbing this corporate ladder? Because everybody's not an entrepreneur. This life ain't for everybody, right? Somebody got to pay the
Mhm.
damn bills, get the health insurance, and and do all of those things. But how do I still remain me? I got the Eye of Horus on my neck, right? Like, how do I still remain true to who I am in this environment moving forward?
So there's a fine line as far as it being a hybrid, because you don't want to appear as being too black, um, because some people just can't handle it. And what was that movie? You Can't Handle the Truth. A Few Good Men. They just can't handle
You
the
can't
true blackness.
handle the truth. The greatest, one of the greatest.
And um, I think that sometimes it's more so on them than it is us, because what it does is it reveals their insecurities and their ignorance. And when I say ignorance, I mean not knowing
Mhm.
of other people, of other cultures, of other realities and experiences that people have that are not like mine or that are not like theirs. And once we recognize, call it for what it is, and understand it, then we can navigate and move through those waters. We can wade through the waters a little bit easier, or know how to be able to wade through the waters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And understanding that it's their problem, it ain't mine. You got to work through them demons and all of that other stuff on your own. So if I can push the envelope a little bit further, since I mentioned demons, let's look at it on a spiritual level. When you get that good vibes, it's spirit against spirit that steps in. So when I step into the room, I have disrupted, I have antagonized your spirit, because it's a complete contradiction to what my spirit represents. Or a sidebar to that is, I'm showing up as to what you can be, and you are showing up short. And I'm letting you know you can be greater than what it is that you are. So I'm challenging your greatness. I'm challenging who you are and what is seen and what I can see in you. And you don't like it. So your defense mechanism is to retreat or to lash out at, when in this particular instance, it's actually something that can help you and not harm you.
So, all right, you got me kind of fired up. So what, like in this, because we know it's them, right? We know it's them that can't handle your blackness. We know it's them that can't handle your greatness. We showing up understanding I gotta be at least twice as good to get half as much, right? We know that. So how do we deal
My
with
twice as good makes your just getting by, your mediocrity, just look to shame. It's like, well, dang, if she's doing that, being twice as good, what's up with me?
what's up with me? And now you taking offense. I'm sorry, somebody repeatedly
Oh,
calling me.
where you go? Okay, there
Well,
you
well,
go.
yeah, yeah. But I want to like, how do we deal with them? Imagine the situation. You just having a normal conversation, but now this person has gone to HR and is calling you racist, right? Not because you did anything, but yeah, y'all listen, y'all know the Karens, right? The Karens and the Kens, they out there, they in the workforce. You know, how can we handle in the age of post DEI, right? Like, because it looks like DEI is dead. It's not, but you get where I'm going. At least from the far as the media, they're going to merit based things, right? So individuals are emboldened, let's just say, aggressive, let's just say, in the workplace. Like, how do we do kid gloves? Do we just smack them with the truth? Like, I don't know. Again, like, I got to preface my questions with, I've never worked in corporate America, right? Like, I've never had a job. Yeah, I don't know. This may be a surprise to some of you. Maybe it don't,
Hey,
right?
Tommy, Tommy,
Let me
Tommy.
pause a little bit, right? Like I've never actually had a job, right? Like, right? I've always been an entrepreneur. I had actually I lied. I had two jobs, one in high school, one in college. I just don't count them as a professional. I've never had a job. So I've never been in these environments, but I listen to y'all stories and it's horrifying to me, right? So I'm just wondering in this whatever this age of DEI is, or this flux, I feel like flux
Let me say
capacitor.
something right here before you finish
Go,
up your
go,
question.
go.
To be anti DEI is to be anti capitalist, because I use an example of a farmer. Even though a farmer is independent, and can grow his or her own crops, he's still going to have to rely on somebody to either get some labor or some equipment to be able to till the soil. He's going to have to go get the seeds from the farmer's market so that he can plant them. And if he, you know, although our rain system is amazing, the natural irrigation system, it doesn't operate all the time when it needs to in order for your crops to grow. So with that said, you're going to have some type of irrigation system that needs to be installed. So all of that to say, yes, I may be independent, but I still got to rely on somebody for something. So you can't be an island in these out here in these DEI streets. We are all interconnected in some type of way. And I'm going to push the envelope even further. You want to get rid of Black history. You want to get rid of the contributions that we have made as a culture to this society. Then if we do that, let's start taking away the things that you use that we invented that have made your life a lot easier. And let's see how much you appreciate what it is that we have done and what we do.
Yeah.
Carry on. I'm sorry.
No, I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. I'm glad you jumped in. Anytime, just jump in, right? Again, I'm kind of ignorant to the workplace, and I think that's why, I don't know why I do quotes on boss, right? I do employ people, right? I'm like overly sensitive to it, right? Just because I don't know and I hear the horror stories, and I don't want anybody that worked for me to have that experience, right? I want them to be like, it's a magical place, like like Disney creates magic, right? Like, oh my God, I work for Urban Intellectuals. We do this great thing, and it's just beautiful. And Freddie's fantastic, and like that's why I think I make Ian be the bad guy all the time. Hey, every visionary need a bad guy. Somebody, you need a bad guy, right?
You
Batman
need
ain't
an
nobody
Ebeline.
without the Joker,
You
right?
need a
Like,
Wicked Witch of the West. I got you. I got you. Everybody need that in their life to help them stay, to help them stay on the right path that they need to be on. I get it. I get it.
yeah. Oh, okay. All right. I got a good question here. This is tough. This is from another smart person, Doc. So you're gonna appreciate the question though. I want to understand how we can have an open conversation about leadership decisions without creating a dynamic where I am stereotyped as being angry, quotes, for holding people accountable. How can we build that trust?
Sweet baby black Jesus. Uh wrapped in wrapped in swaddling clothes in a manger. Oh my gosh, that's a deep question. That is a deep question, but it is a very um relevant question. So my approach to that and my thought process is understanding, have the conversations to where is the question really coming from, and um coming back with what it is that you think that you understand that they're asking, and ask it simply in that way. So what I hear you saying is blah 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 blah. And if that's not what they are intending, then they are going to come back and say no. At least they should come back. Let me put that disclaimer on there. They should come back and say no. What I'm trying to say is blah 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 blah. So you kind of play this dance a little bit as to making sure that you understand what they're asking so that you can answer it appropriately. I think that's the beginning. Alongside that is the willingness to hear what the other person has to say.
Mm, okay, listening.
Straight up listening. You can have the ability to, but if you don't have that willingness, it ain't worth a pot nor a window.
Right, we just pissing in the wind, as they say, right? I got quotes too. They ain't from the Bible, but they from the Bible of Black folks. All right. Hey, I want to open it up. If y'all got any questions, you can either drop them in the comments, raise your Zoom hand. And don't be shy, y'all. I love and appreciate when y'all lean in. Again, this is really not my space. I'm just trying to facilitate a conversation that the community needs to have, whether it's for you, your children, your grandchildren. We all dealing with this stuff in our lives, or you experienced it, right? Okay, here's another one. How can we address concerns about communication and decision making without resorting to stereotypes or assumptions about intent or tone?
Ooh, okay. So, ooh. By you reading that, I went back. Oh gosh, this has been some years ago. Um, I was, I was flying, and while in the airport, let's say my heart was heavy because of how my sisters were showing up in their appearance at the airport. I'm just gonna leave it at that. You can figure that out, fill in the other pieces
Yes, in the airport.
with that. And I mean, of course, it's not excluded to the airport, just this particular
Mhm.
scenario that I'm talking about. Swallow, don't spit that out, Freddie.
Yeah,
Uh,
almost.
but right now we're just talking about the scenario of at the airport and just the overall way that they were carrying themselves in the dress, in their vernacular. And it was one of those, oh God, are we really about to do this? But the other side of me was now I have to represent what a black woman, another narrative of what a black woman is and what a black woman looks like. So I self-imposed, put that on my shoulders because I am not her and she is not me. I know how to talk. I know how to conjugate verbs. I I know how to enunciate. I know how to I know that my vocabulary is greater than four letters.
Shit, doc. Okay, anyway.
Yeah,
I
all of
can't
that
help it.
and
I
the
can't
other
help it.
ones
I
that
can't
go
help it.
along with
I
it.
want to go hit the
Per,
other
per,
one. I just.
yeah. The loud, the boisterous, what we now see on reality TV, which really ain't reality, is scripted TV. But anywho, that's not that right there is another talk show another day. But seeing that, I put the pressure on myself to have to make sure that I saw another representation of what Black women are and what they can be. So I'm trying to negate that stereotype that is portrayed in media, that is portrayed in society, that's portrayed in the music, in everything as far as how they want you to see, which goes back to slavery. I mean, it all
Love how you tied
goes
it.
back to how they ties back to that. So with that, and this goes back to having to be twice as good, and some of that assimilation, some of that being hybrid that we've previously talked about. I have to be very cognizant of how I speak, of my tone, because I don't want it to be misinterpreted as being the angry Black woman.
Right.
And it's not, here again, it's culture, understanding cultures, because we are not always, um, we're not always angry, we're just passionate about how we speak about things versus the Anglo culture. For the most part, they're more docile.
Oh, okay.
They're much more, they're not as animated. I'll say that as well. There's not as much passion in the way that they articulate things. Now, of course, here in the United States, we talk with our hands. But even if you look at it from, which I've learned a lot from my fiance being in law enforcement and having to read people.
Mm.
And something that he pointed out to me, looking at it at a restaurant, which was crazy, and I didn't pay attention to it until he said it because it was just something that I saw on a regular. It was just quite natural to me. But in observing two Anglo men at the dinner table, they did a lot of leaning in and leaning back in their conversations.
Okay.
Whereas with us, it's much more animated. We talk more with our hands. There's more body movement that goes along with it. So I dare you and I challenge you to pay attention to that next time that you're in a restaurant and see the dynamics of the conversations that are going on.
I will definitely be on the lookout today when I go to lunch or breakfast, right? Or lunch. Yeah, lunch
Look,
here.
when you send me a message, I can't wait for you to send me a message and say, Doc, you was right. Not
Yeah,
you
yeah,
were, you was right. Oh my
yeah.
God, I had never noticed that before. But just those things and truly understanding the culture, and that comes to understanding and the willingness to understand and have the conversations to know who is who, understand their perspectives. Because let's just be real clear. Um, your experiences shape your perspective, and your perspective identifies your reality.
Hmm, hmm.
So if we're able to break that down and truly and give new experiences to help shape new perspectives, now we have new realities as to what's really happening and going on. But again, you've got to be willing to receive that.
I love it. I love it. I got a question from the audience for you. How do you respond to the comments? You speak well, especially
Oh
when it
God, that
comes.
microaggression. Okay. Oh
Wait,
God.
wait, wait, wait. Especially when it comes from a supervisor, which I get at every job I've been at. Thank you for the question, Cassandra.
Thank you, thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Cassandra, and thank you, Cassandra. That to me, that is a backhanded insult
Ooh,
because they are expecting us, again, the narrative that has been shaped as to who we are and what is perceived um, to how we articulate. My first thought is, what do you mean that I speak well? What does that what does not well speaking, if I can term it that way, what is that? What does that sound like? Is it because you can understand all the letters and syllables to the words that I'm pronouncing? Or because I understand subject verb agreement? What Hopper, what you mean? What you talking about, Willis? What does that not speaking well mean? So that I can answer your question. Again, going back to what I said earlier. So what I hear you saying is, and a lot of times when you spit back to them what it is that they have said, they realize how stupid the question is. And
mm,
I know they say when we were going through school, there's not a dumb question. But
they are.
sometimes people just need to hear what it is that they're asking and reflect on it themselves.
Yeah. I never bought into that. There are dumb
Oh,
questions. I don't, yeah, there are dumb questions. You should ask your question, but there are dumb questions. So just, there's consequences to things. Like you get in a race, you can't come in last.
mm-hmm,
That's,
mm-hmm,
that's a
mm-hmm.
fact. Don't be mad at me. There are dumb questions.
Somebody gonna be last and somebody
Somebody
gonna be
gonna be
first.
last. Yeah, there are questions that are dumb, like, and this is one of them. But that's rooted in slavery, rooted in ignorance.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I cut you off. You good on the
No,
response?
no, I'm good there. Hopefully I answered the question. Does that clarify it for
Yeah,
you,
sister,
Cassandra?
ask a
Please let
follow-up.
me know.
Ask a follow. Put your hand up, sister. Come on the mic. Hey, I want to encourage y'all to get on the mic and ask the question directly, right? Y'all, it's like I be making up questions, but we got young Deidre. Come on, Deidre. Ask your. Oh, I muted you. I'm sorry.
Hey, Deidre.
Yeah, unmute. There you go.
Hey there, how are you?
Wonderful, my love. What you got for me? Let me see how I can help and
Okay.
serve you.
Okay, so conversation has been really good. I'm all in. Okay. So those questions that Freddie asked, they were actually from me, kind of dealing with the same, situation. So you answered my questions very well. Thank you so much. But also, right now I'm wanting to protect my energy. I explained to my team that energy is wasted, when I'm having, it's not the workload. I work for the county. It's not the workload that takes my energy away. It's the pettiness and the miscommunication and these assumptions that are going around. So right now I'm at the place where I need to protect my energy as well as set up boundaries. So I have two questions. Okay, you ready? So the first
Okay.
question, okay, here we go. So the first question is, what is the most productive way for me to respond when I sense that a conversation is shifting towards more of a personal stereotypes or bias? So how can I disengage and redirect without taking unnecessary emotional labor?
Oh, child. Y'all got some good questions. Y'all got some good. Y'all come with it. I love it. I love it. I love it. First thing that I do is breathe
Uh-huh. I don't want
because
to
I
breathe
need to.
too hard because they might think I'm coming off angry. But anyway, go ahead.
What? Not that side type of breathe. You know what I'm talking about. It's that
Take a breath.
just for a second because that's giving me an opportunity to think
Mm-hmm.
before I immediately jump off because sometimes my gut reaction
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
will
Right
be a
there.
Peterism
Right.
and Peter cussed and Peter cut you and then told you to have a nice day and converted you once he got done and you understood. So I'm Freddie, you weren't ready for that. But that's so I need to make sure that I'm right and that my spirit is right. And by me just taking a breath for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
that gives me an opportunity to regroup. And then also, nonverbal communication is huge too. That can speak volumes before
Mm-hmm.
you even open up your mouth. So and I just kind of shift a little bit. Again, this is me. You have to figure out what works with you and your personality. But for me, it's just a little bit of a shift. And then I go into it like in inquiry disposition to try and understand and asking the questions. Okay, so what are what are you really asking? What are you really getting at? And then I began to listen as well as to what you're saying and what you're not saying. Now, in the
Mm-hmm.
back of my mind, Peter, Samuel L. Jackson, and um, Bernie Mac, they all having a good conversation, but I can't let that come out. Freddie, I'm sorry.
You forgot
But
But
Richard
it's
Pryor. You
Samuel,
forgot
reality.
Richard
but
Pryor. You
Samuel
forgot
took,
Richard
yeah,
Pryor.
like,
No, she
Yeah,
forgot Richard Pryor.
yes, Richard Pryor too. All of them. You know what I'm saying. And obviously you've been there because you were able to articulate it quite well and be able to tap on in on that. So with that, and I have to, remind myself of who I'm representing. I mean, I reach back and it's like, okay, you got your ancestors, you got your family, you got your brand, all of this stuff that I still have to protect. And
Mm-hmm.
I can't say what I want to say the way that I want to say it. So my step back and reprieve so that I can think about how to respond again is to take a breath and then to do the inquisitive pose or disposition of me as to try and find out what exactly it is that you're wanting to find out. And then other times you may just simply say, let me get back to you and turn around and walk away because I ain't trying to lay hands on nobody at no particular time. And that gives you a chance because I firmly also believe in I over E, which is intelligence over emotion,
wow.
because I don't want to say something or do something in an emotional state that's going to have long-term repercussions. So let me think about it first, and then I can come back to you. And the Holy Spirit just have a way of no, 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 dropping on in and telling me which direction that I need to move in. But then it's also in, mm, can I push the envelope?
Yes, you can.
What is it in you that they see that they think that they can come at you like that?
See, that's the thing. See, that's the thing. So it's a lot of background. It's that one person that's been in the county for years. And so I had to come in this organization and clean it up. So she has been giving me, problems ever since for 3 years. So I brought in some new specialists, and she's the one that that's always negative, getting saying this, saying she's older, these people are younger, and so she spews negativity. And so sometimes people do not know how to separate the negativity in their own thinking. And so she'll put things in their head, these little bitty things, and then they can't think for themselves. And so that's what's happening now. I'm not an angry person, never been, but
Right, right,
yeah.
right.
And then,
So
when I go
here's,
to
go ahead.
so, when I go to my supervisor, she said, well, she's retiring soon. I said, that's not the point. I don't care if she's retiring or not. This is another white lady. I said, but right now, I told her I didn't want to hear that. That's not what, the conversation where this conversation needs to go. But yeah.
So, and this just came to me as you were talking.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can't change people, but you can change the people that are around them that are going to force them to change.
Right, right. And also you can't control people either.
That part.
You can't control what people say or what they do. So I'm learning all of that. But oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no,
This
no, no,
y'all
no.
show.
You,
I'm sorry, this y'all show. This y'all
uh-uh.
conversation.
You are in it, baby. You in it now. We
Yeah.
family. We said that in the beginning. This is a family conversation, because this is the reality of what not only you have to deal with, but somebody else is having to deal with it
Mhm,
as well.
mhm,
And they may not be in a space where they can
mhm,
have the conversation and ask the questions, but you asking it on their behalf is helping them to overcome or helping them to get through it. So no,
mhm,
continue to ask. Let's work through this. That's part of the problem why people have issues at work, is because they're not willing to have the conversations to be able to move forward and move to the next
right,
level. So please don't take it as you're taking over. We are just
mhm,
simply in dialogue, having a conversation so that we can work through it. I told you I got time
right.
today.
Because you mentioned that the I guess the younger staff, I would say the younger staff, or they're newer to the organization. You were saying that, have space for them, and I do have quarterly meetings with them, but you mentioned creating space for them, and that was part of this next question I was going to ask you. How can I create space, valid space, or for no, how can I create space for valid concerns, while also protecting my time and my energy? And I think you kind of you were saying more about that as well with other folks, the newer staff. Did that make sense? Oh, did she freeze? Oh,
Oh, maybe she froze.
oh, I
You're
thought she was
breaking up
like,
a little
okay.
bit, so I'm not
Oh,
Oh,
no.
okay.
catching the last part of it. How can you create that balance to where they feel welcome?
Yeah, well, how can I create a space not only for them, but also for me? When I have valid concerns, about protecting my, time and energy, from things like this constant negativity that's going on.
Okay, this is the PK in me. This helped to root me, and have my solid foundation. First, I need to get quiet. And I said the I over E, because I want to make sure I'm attacking this in an intelligent way and not a gut
Mhm.
reaction type of way. I want to make sure that There's clarity in what I deliver, and my Harriet Tubman that I'm bringing back with me type of type of response to you. So that's one place, and it may be something where you may just have to say, hey, let me think about that and come back to you with an answer. And that's a place, excuse me, where you can also be vulnerable and say, you know what, I hadn't thought about that. Let me think about that. And that gives you some freedom, lets them know that you heard their concern and that you're just not dismissing what it is that they have an issue with.
Yes.
And I
Okay.
think
Thank
that's
you.
probably a good
I'm done.
start um, for that, for yourself and for them. I'd also push the envelope with the younger generations, understanding more how they operate and how they think. So I'm just saying, for me, come into play
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
about halfway through my life, maybe just a little
Doctor,
bit before halfway through my life. But the younger age, that's all
those
they
last
know.
10 seconds, those last 10 seconds, you broke up a little bit on us. If you could just move back a little bit.
Okay, so if I'll take it back, I'll take it back. Um, understanding where they're coming from, and then as far as me and my generation, the internet didn't come to play until, you know, maybe about halfway through my life, possibly a little bit before. Whereas the younger generation, that's all they know. They know iPads, they know smartphones. So the way they receive information and the way they process information is totally different from how I do it, even though I'm kind of straddling the fence, because I know a pre-internet and I know a post-internet. But even like with me and my mom, she didn't grow up on the internet. That didn't happen until the latter part of her life. So she's gone through her entire life of having to do things. I'll give you a perfect example. Not that she does it anymore, but mom used to write checks. Whereas what I do now is I log into my account, I put in my credit card, and I move on. Or I do it from my phone, whether it be from the laptop or from my phone. I plug in my credit card's number and I'm done as far as paying whatever needs to be paid. So I feel a bit nostalgic sometimes when I go to the grocery store and I see somebody pull out a check. And it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen that in a long time. But it also reminds me of the generational, um, it's not really a gap, but just where they are as far as their generation. So once you understand more about the younger generation, how they think, how they process. And remember, they're also accustomed to the reality TV. They're constant to instant gratification. It's a microwave society. Whereas, baby, give me some good Jiffy Pop, and on top of that stove where you got to shake it and make it flip around and shake it some more a few seconds later, I can do either or. But they're not accustomed to that. They're only accustomed to, here's a bag of popcorn, let me put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and I got what I need. So you've got to understand where they're coming from. And that goes back to the willingness that I talked about earlier on in the conversation, the willingness to understand their backgrounds, where they're coming from, how they process, how they think. Go watch you some Snap. No, I'm tripping.
Oh, I used to love that. I still like, yeah. Snap. Yeah. I love Snap. Okay.
So, just understanding, in all things, get an understanding. And, and from there, that alleviates so much. And there can be so much growth and so much movement from simply understanding.
Thank you.
You're
I love that.
welcome.
Eleanor said this is different, but I think that I think that other person who's older feels like they are not useful anymore, and find a way to include and use that person is kind of like a thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's again that
Mm,
I'm sorry.
I was going to answer that, but you go ahead.
No, 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 no. Go ahead, Miss Eleanor. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you take over and then I'll fill in the pieces.
I think Ella, I think that was response to what my questions I was asking, Miss
Yeah,
Hardy. Okay.
I
And
think
she
so.
meant, yeah, and I told a great observation. But again, there's a story behind this lady. I mean, and it's just we don't have enough time to kind of explain, everything that this particular my staff has been going through or what she's been through. But bottom line, she's trying to get out of work, so she's very lazy. She always calls in, so it's a whole lot of things. So that's why I had to come
Mhm.
in and clean it up, and that's why she's so resentful now. So anyway, I just wanted to put that little tidbit in
Mm.
there. So
How,
I would love to continue the conversation with you, Deidre. And I'll share once we wrap up. By no means am I trying to
mhm,
rush right now. Um, but I would love to continue the conversation with you to see how I can again serve and help you in that arena because workplace culture is huge.
mhm,
And I stand on people do not leave because of money. They leave because of leadership.
that's right.
And I'm not saying that you are a horrible leader. I'm not saying that at all. But let's just, deal with what's on the table so that we can create a culture to where the people want to
Mhm,
stay. Because if they end up
mhm,
staying, then that helps the company, the
mhm,
organization overall with their bottom line because they don't have to go back and retrain. It helps with their attrition. It
mhm,
helps with their
mhm,
productivity. It helps
mhm,
with their efficiency. And when you got happy folk, you ain't got to worry about somebody trying to come in there and disrupt something because what the happy folk are going to do, they going to stand up and they going to rise up and they going to nip that in the bud in a heartbeat. And I can truly say that if I pivot just a bit, with Freddie and I being in the community that we are in, trust is locked down. You can't come in here talking bad about nobody. And even though we may know the truth about somebody, but what we not gonna do is let somebody from the outside come in and tarnish what it is that we have going on. And if I can even push the envelope a little bit further, um, my dear grandmother, whatever word you say, so what goes on in this house stays in this house. And we're not gonna let our business get out so that we cannot be a good representation of who we are and what we represent into the community and into society. You come up against one of us, we gonna handle you. Now, when we get home, we're gonna deal with the person. Look, you was out of line, but as a front, you can't infiltrate this.
you're
What
unified.
we got is a good thing.
Hmm.
You can't mess that up, and I'm not about to let your foolery come mess up a
mhm.
good thing.
Yes.
Real talk. I love that because I think, that's what we all looking for, right? We want to create it. You're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. We want to create that atmosphere. There's somebody's listening that's an entrepreneur. That's definitely the feeling
Family. Hmm.
that we want to evoke. Even if you're in a company, right? Your department, you hope the greater company embraces it all. But that's what we're looking for in the organizations we join, right? The masterminds that we're in. I know the family. I know exactly what she's talking about because I don't care what's going on inside. You ain't gonna talk crazy about what we doing. Like you're not gonna do that. And I hope that's the environment we create here at Urban Intellectuals. Like, yeah, brother Freddie, a little messy, but you ain't gonna talk crazy about him. I'm gonna do that behind closed doors. I'm gonna check him and we gonna say whatever. But out here, we ain't gonna be in them streets talking outside of your neck.
We doing this right here. Where
Gotta
my
take them off.
Vaseline? We
Where that
finna
Vaseline at? See, I don't even think the young folks know about that Vaseline. Like,
right, right,
just
right.
put that
Somebody
Vaseline on
gonna
her
win
face.
me.
She put that Vaseline on your face. You about to get it. Like, I don't know what you think
And
it is.
taking off the earrings. She's taking off
Taking
the
off the
earrings.
earrings was the sign.
Right, right,
Uh-huh.
right.
I done seen that. Uh-huh. Yeah, you said what? Yeah, hold these real quick. Yeah, let me get that. Like you about to get worked. I don't know. You better hit her right now. Anyway, all right. Then we go flashing back. Y'all being black. We're flashing black. Oh, okay. I think we just made a thing. Flashing black, right? Like we
It
went
had a
back.
black flash, a flash
We
black.
had a black flash. I love that. I love that. All right. I don't want to keep you all day, sis. Give the folks some final thoughts, and then we'll end with how they can connect with you further and all of that. But just some final thoughts of the kind. We've been all over the place. We done did the Wiz. Freddie admitted he lost his black card for a while, but I got it back. I watched the Wiz, but we done been there, and I love that we got some direct questions from the audience, so can serve their needs, and you can highlight. Yeah, that was an opportunity to highlight what you do. So put a bow on the conversation, and then definitely let the people know where they can connect with you further.
So as far as putting a bow on the conversation, be true to thine own self. You know your gifts, you know your anointing, you know what it is that you are called to do, and don't let anybody step in and deter you from that. Know how to identify and label your distractions and
Mhm.
differentiate your distractions from a detour. There is a difference. There is a huge difference between a distraction and a detour. Make sure that you have good community, good family. I saw that in the chat. Good family that will hold you accountable and that will what we say, good wise counsel. Make sure that that's what you have right, and it's not always a whole bunch of people that's going to be able to do it. It may just be a couple of people that can give you that wise counsel, and go to those that know the subject matter that you're having issues with. You don't want to go to somebody that has no clue about let's just say stocks and bonds, and you trying to get into the stock market, and all they know how to do is go to Ace Cash Express and get a payday loan, a payday loan, or one of them prepaid cards, and put their paycheck on it so that they can pay bills. Make sure that you're getting wise counsel from the right people that know something, and that aren't just talking about it. And protect your energy, protect yourself. Get in a space where you can have that time to yourself so that you can be your greater self, and be able to serve better, because you're serving from your overflow and not from what's been depleted from you.
Mhm.
And when you serve from that place, it is so much better. And the greatest form of leadership is service. The greatest form of leadership is service. So the more and the better and the greater that you serve, watch it come back, and you'll see how people will follow you, how people will trust you, how people will believe in what it is that you do, what it is that you're saying, and they will help you accomplish whatever goals that it is that you need. So those are my closing words, my closing thoughts. I feel like it's the benediction, and my prayer and covering over you as you go out into these streets.
I love it, Doc. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your blessing here today. Um, please give the people where they can contact with you, work with you, build further with you, and we make sure we connect you with the people that's interested.
Beautiful, beautiful. So the best way to reach me, where you can get all my information, is going to be via my website, and it's Dr.Tajiri, Tajiri.com. Dr.Tajiri.com. That's got all of my social media handles. You'll see what the Workplace Wizard, the Oz Experience, all of that other is about. Yes, there it is right there. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you for putting that in the chat. you can find out more about who I be, how I do it. You can find out about the books that I have that are on display that are available for purchase. And I tell you what, actually, speaking of books, since I have them right here, I have
Oh,
a bundle going on right now to where if you purchase these two, the first one, which is Power, Privilege, and Humility, Unveiling the Layers of Leadership Lessons Learned. That is a leadership book, and you mentioned that in the intro when you were giving me my street creds to the people so that they would know who you are talking to, and what we're going to be talking about. And then the second book that I have, which is Bipolar Faith. I don't know if you can see it. The roller coaster ride of spiritual resilience and emotional vulnerability. So the bundle that I have for that is you purchase those two, which is 50, and there's a link for that on my site. Then that'll give you a pre-order for my book that I'm due to launch soon and very soon, which is called The Emerald Code. And that goes back to what our conversation has been today as it relates to leadership.
yes, yes, I love it. Um, y'all, we've just had an opportunity to spend a moment with Dr. Tajiri, and it's been enlightening. Sister, I just want to say thank you from my community, for myself, and my community, because I love the man. I just posted on Facebook. I got to requote you. The greatest form of leadership is service. And even though I don't work in the corporate space, I'm taking that to heart because I need to be a better leader and serve my people better. Not even just inside of the organization, but in the community, right? So my takeaway is I'm going to be a better leader because I'm going to serve better. And I appreciate that message from you. I appreciate the whiz and the lessons you talked about from that. And I appreciate your work that you're doing in the community because we are scarred as a people in this place because of, I mean, you take it all the way back to slavery, and I definitely appreciate the history and the historical trauma that we face and bring into the workplace, not by our own doing. It just is what it is, and we got to deal with it and navigate it. And although it's not as overt as it was 300 years ago, it's still there. I call it that it. That it is still, it ain't never left. It just got clever in how it masks itself. So I know the work that you're doing is important because we're dealing with it. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
I say it this way: history repeats itself even when we don't like what it has to say.
Yes. Yes. I love
History
that.
repeats itself even when we don't like what it has to say.
We're gonna close on that one. Excellent, excellent, sister. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We definitely appreciate you here at Sankofa Speaks and Urban Intellectuals. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the conversation. And you know what I mean? Yeah, I love that. Oh, I might have to adapt that. Until next time, good people, y'all know what it is. Love, peace, and power to the people. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, and thank you, sister, again. Man, there we go.